Hey there, friends and enemies, Jopi here again, and today I want to go over my 5 most anticipated RPGs that should be arriving by the end of 2025. And I say should because not all of them have firm release dates. They've just been confirmed to drop by the end of 2025, but delays do happen. So if one of these gets pushed to 2026, that is fully understandable. And I want to start off with a honorable mention that's not going to make my top 5 because I don't want to include too many remakes or remasters, and that is the remaster of Neverwinter Nights 2. I was really excited when I saw this news over the weekend of Summer Games Fest, and I think this game could be very fun. I really enjoyed the original, and I'm looking forward to playing it, but I also want to look forward to only new games with one very notable exception that I'll get to within the list. At number 5 is Horizon Force Vonamir, and this one is very interesting. From the looks of it, it looks very similar to Unicorn Overlord, where when I initially saw it, I wasn't sure how ready I was going to be to jump into this day one, but as I learned more about the game, I grew that much more hyped. And this is one of those games that is from a smaller studio, but it does have that nice blend of classic RPG feel with some modern changes, and I do always like games of that nature, and this is one that I definitely will be checking out. There's no firm release date as of yet, however, it does seem like it's one that will be dropping by the end of 2025. It was originally supposed to arrive in 2024, so hopefully they end up getting this out and we can see just what they have cooking up. Anyway, moving on, I'm going to talk about number 4, and that's Lost Soul Aside. This game looks incredibly interesting, more action heavy than some of the other titles on this list, but it was originally started by a solo developer and has evolved into a very good looking game at the end of the day, in my opinion. Very much similar to Final Fantasy XVI, which is a hit or miss game for a lot of people. I absolutely loved it, and it does seem to be differing in enough ways that even those who might not have enjoyed Final Fantasy XVI could really enjoy Lost Soul Aside. Very action heavy, very much dark fantasy type of themes, pretty environments, all of that you would expect from a game of this nature, and I do like the looks of this overall. Plus, this game was delayed from earlier this year to give it a window that had very few competitors, while also allowing them to polish the game even more, and I do think that is a good thing at the end of the day. Really excited about getting hands-on with this one, and I should have some content when it does arrive August 29th of 2025, and yeah, I think this is going to be one of those games that could catch a lot of people by surprise. Then we move on to number 3, and that is Greedfall 2. This one is interesting. It's in early access right now. I think the game was pretty good. I thought Greedfall 1 was actually very underrated overall, and the sequel just seems to improve upon a lot of things that the original did. Now, this is the type of game that is not going to be for everyone. There's a lot of dialogue. There's a lot of character customization and choice, which I think is very, very good. It's more along the lines of almost like a Pillars of Eternity type of game rather than JRPG or anything like that. And I do like the setting. It's got a lot of interesting mechanics within the game that are fun to learn. It does feel like it's one of those where, because it's been early access for going on a year now, that the game should be in a really good spot. Now, we saw other games like Baldur's Gate 3 stay in early access for longer than that, but hopefully we are nearing the point where we will see a release date in the near future. They did say originally that it was supposed to launch in 2025. I don't know if that is still the case. We may learn that they have pushed it back to 2026. But for now, this is one of those games that I will absolutely be checking out day one as soon as it arrives, because of how much I enjoyed the original and how much this game looks to have improved. I haven't touched the early access. I don't like to play early access games really myself, because I want to get the full, fresh playthrough experience without some of the hiccups, without having to go through some of the changes that we see and without being able to experience the entirety of the story. So that's why I am not going to cover the game in full, like with my own gameplay, until I actually have a chance to play through the entirety of the thing. Moving on, we are getting the only remake remaster on this list, and that is because this is one of my all-time favorites of all time. And I think this is going to be one of those games that a lot of people need to experience for the first time if you have not already, and that is Final Fantasy Tactics: The Ivalice Chronicles. This game is generational. It is the best tactical RPG of all time, in my opinion. It arrives on September 30th of this year, which is not all that long from now. If you have not played it, highly recommend. If you have played it, you're probably snagging this update as well. It's going to have some potentially new guest characters, some changes to guest characters as well, including Cloud. When you're able to get him in the story, should be a bit sooner, hopefully, so that way you can really experience it. It's got the updates that allow for voice acting if you so choose, or you could go with the traditional route. It's got some updates to the art, but again, you can go with a more traditional look as well, and it just really feels like it's going to be the best type of remaster. If Tactics Ogre is anything to compare it to, that game was remade really well, and I feel like Final Fantasy Tactics is going to follow suit. I'm really hyped about this one. I will be gushing about it for the foreseeable future, and I hope everyone else is just as hyped as I am, because I know I am going to be an absolute nuisance talking about this game for the rest of the year. But we get to number one, and this is one that I don't know if it's definitely dropping in 2025. We've seen a lot of gameplay from it. It looks really exciting. There's so much unique that this game looks like it does, but because it's so ambitious, I wouldn't be surprised if it does get pushed to 2026, since we don't have a firm release date. However, there are rumors that it is dropping in November. That is going to be Crimson Desert, and this game looks like a modern, updated The Witcher game, in my opinion. A Witcher game for next-gen graphics, based upon not only the choice of actions that you have, some of the various abilities that you have, just exploring the world. It really feels like one of those massive, open, action-heavy RPGs with a lot of interesting storylines, some very unique bosses as well, and just gameplay that looks awesome. This is one of my most anticipated games at all right now, whether it's releasing this year or not, and it's my most anticipated RPG that we'll see in the near future. I think this game could be one of those that is a Game of the Year contender, should they be able to live up to the hype. And that's really the major question, because everything they've shown, in my opinion, looks very good. The combat looks excellent. The dialogue looks interesting. The story looks pretty fascinating as well. A lot of things to draw from. The world looks sick. There's a lot of unique ways to fight some of the various bosses, and gameplay mechanics, such as you climbing onto a giant tortoise's back to break its shell. And I just think what they're doing looks like the next leap in RPGs that I've been waiting for since The Witcher 3, and hopefully they are able to deliver on that promise. If not, it'll be a very much a huge disappointment, but it does look like, from everything we've seen, and they've shown us a lot so far, this is going to be one of those games that you absolutely should be playing day one. Anyway, let me know if there's any that I missed. I'd love to do an underrated or RPG list of games that might be flying under the radar that are coming up in the near future, so definitely stay tuned to that. Hit me up with some recommendations in the comments down below. But for now, my name is Jopa. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe as always, and I'll catch you all later.